Hi everyone, it's me Jo and I'm bringing you the second part of my brand new surgery series videos. Now this one's going to be a little bit of a long one because I'm going to be talking through all of the different procedures I've been working on in the last 13 months or so. A little bit longer when it comes to teeth, but I think you guys deserve a full update since I've not actually been online much in the last year, so hopefully it will be educational and interesting for you guys. I do actually have a second video where I go through my Aqualex treatment, which is a fat dissolving injection, and that will also be on my channel soon too. So wow, where do I start? This year has been so crazy in terms of what I wanted to achieve in my aesthetic, because I think when it comes to the way you think about your looks, when it comes to injections, I think people really go into it with the wrong mindset. They go in thinking they're going to have this transformation like Kylie Jenner, and they really focus on the changes. I never thought about it like that. And if you go back to my first ever video about this, it was all about making the symmetry in my face more the same. I didn't want it to be such a massive difference that you couldn't see the vectors in my face that I've always had. I never wanted to look different or augment my features. I just wanted to make the things that stood out to me when I saw myself in a picture versus the mirror not so significant. And it was funny when I first started talking about this, a lot of you guys felt the same. So I think this is something that you can definitely go into with a different attitude and think about it less of, okay, let's go in to get our cheeks done and get the same amount on both sides. It's more so fixing the issues that you have in terms of symmetry. Maybe one of your cheekbones is a little bit further forwards and so on. And that's really what I wanted to do. When it got to 2015, or maybe the end of there near 2016, I think I got to the end of my goals. I was really happy with the symmetry, and I'd worked for the prior 3 years getting everything to kind of build up over time. I had my eyelid uplifted, I had my nose made straighter, I had my lip lifted, my jawbone more symmetrical, and I also had my cheekbone more symmetrical. I didn't have any work really done to this side of my face. It was more so on this side, and it was more so about making sure my mouth moved in the right way after having retainers. We can go into that in a bit in a moment. But for me, I wanted to kind of tweak bits slightly. And when I got to 2016, I had a mini kind of gym in my apartment. I had a treadmill and all the equipment and stuff. And I would be really, really healthy, and I lost a little weight. So when I lost a little weight, you kind of forget you have a mask of fat in your face anyway. So when you do lose weight, you lose weight from your face as well. And for me, it kind of brought more of those symmetry issues back to the surface. So I was trying to think about how I could probably put on a little bit more weight so my weight was more softer in my face. That gives me more of an option to do a fun feminine look or a masculine look. I could do both, because I felt when I was very skinny, I didn't think that I could do a softer look as I wanted to. So I thought, okay, let's put on a little bit of weight, but then let's use things like Kybella, which the English version is actually called Aqualex, to really sculpt those areas down so I could keep the softness in the right areas, but I wouldn't have to go through the process of getting everything redone in my face, because I was really happy with the results. So that's pretty much what I've been doing. So I've gone through a treatment of Aqualex with Doctor Sarah Tonks at the TLC Lovely Clinic, which you may be familiar on YouTube. And I'll put a little clip when we first met, because we were talking through symmetry, and it was actually on a machine, which I think you guys might be quite intrigued to see. So she actually scanned my face and actually put it into the computer, and we looked at the differences in symmetry to this day. And this is just about the time where I put on a little bit of weight. I was also doing my cookbook at the same time, so you may have seen I was trying all the recipes to make sure they were all good. But you can see that now.
So this is to look at your symmetry. This is you as you are. Mm-hmm. This is the left side of the face, but a mirror image, and then this is the right side of the face, but a mirror image. And you can see that there's a wee discrepancy between the two sides, which is normal. Nobody is symmetrical. This is absolutely regular. But what we discussed last time was maybe taking this side up a little bit more, so that the cheek was a little bit more smooth in the contour there, like it is on this side.
Yeah, because I look like a boy on the left one and a girl on the right one.
That's true, actually.
Yeah,
So
I like the right one better.
This one?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, on this one, do you think that you would want to take that up even higher than it is, or are you satisfied with it as it is?
I think it's more so that there is like more of a, it's not like there's a depression, but there's like a sausage of fat just on that side that's there that I'm bothered by more than the height of the cheek. And I know sometimes if you put something in the cheek, it can lift that off. So it's more like, because I don't want it to look like a nasolabial kind of like dip there, where there's a bit of fat that's slid off my cheekbone. I'd rather it be pulled up so it's smoother through that area.
Well, you have this this bit of fat there as well.
That's it. That's the bit that I'm in.
So,
oh my god, how clever is this machine?
if you look, you can see very faintly there's the outline of that bit of fat that you're talking about on this side. And then you have it on the other side as well. But because you've got more volume up there in the cheek, which you don't have over here, I think it makes it look a bit more obvious.
Right, that makes so much sense. I love this machine.
So maybe if you literally just injected on this side and left the other side, if you're happy with it, then you could do that. Up to you.
Okay, that makes sense. I think it's just about bringing balance and proportion though. So
rather than any massive changes.
And what are we going to do to the jawline? How is that going to work? We're going to inject just...
So, if I just show you from the side.
I want one of these machines. It's so clever. I would be beat.
Yeah, so you see this little bit of fatty tissue?
Yes, that never was there, it needs to go.
Everybody gets this. You know, this fat underneath your neck, even if you stay the same weight as you get older, you accumulate more fat here.
Sure, do it as well. In some men, do they have a saliva gland that's more prominent there as well? Because I saw some facial feminization surgery in Thailand where they remove it or something.
So you've got 3 big saliva glands.
Okay.
Well, I guess actually you've probably got more than that because they're on both sides, but you know what I mean. You've got 3 big salivary glands, and one of them is underneath here, yeah. But it's normally this one which is massive on men actually, the big parotid.
Oh, how intriguing.
And that can make the face look quite wide.
And what is the injection being used for that? It's called Aqualix?
Aqualix, yeah. So Aqualix is the same active ingredient as Kybella, which you might have heard of.
Yes, I've heard that a lot in America. Okay.
So what about anything else? Like we could, for example, I don't know, it depends on what you want to do with the jawline. If you wanted to sort of make it a bit stronger, or if you wanted to just maybe hang on until we've done a bit of fat dissolving down here. I think that makes more sense actually.
Yeah. Should we we'll do like the foundation work for part 1 and then in part 2 we can go through all the proportion stuff and make it all neat.
Okay.
Yay, I can't wait.
Okay.
So after that, we came up with a plan of what I wanted to achieve, and I really wanted to give myself more of a rounded chin, and I had a little bit of work done to make me give me a little bit more of a Final Fantasy kind of jawline shape, because I had a little bit of a blunt tip to my jawline, and I don't know if you guys can see it, but to me it makes my kind of jaw look smaller, which I'm really happy. I think it's just because it kind of angles everything off in the right way. But that was great. I've also had underneath my nose, almost like underneath my nostril, but inside my face, filled up and then pushed forwards. So my nostrils actually come forwards. I don't know if you can see from the side, but it's pretty much made the symmetry. You can't really see it from there because there's nothing really to see. But from the front, it brought the base of my nose more to the middle of my face, which was amazing. So I've been really happy with that treatment. I've also been looking into getting the outsides of my lips done. So the top of this lip over here and the bottom of this lip over here. Because the way I move my jaw and the way I've had retainers, my kind of mouth moves almost at a diagonal. And I wanted to make sure that my lips didn't look like they were kind of pulling in 2 different directions, kind of Jackie Stallone-ish, because that would not be a look. But what we did is we just did the outside here and here, which was really cool. And I'll show you a video properly about that later on. Hi everyone, it's me Jo, and I'm here at the lovely clinic TLC with the gorgeous Doctor Sarah Tonks. And we actually decided to do a video a little bit about proportion, because one thing that I was immediately intrigued with when I first found your videos, and if you want to find Dr. Sarah's gorgeous YouTube videos, which are very useful for anyone that's interested in procedures, please check the links below. I'll put that there. But it was very much interesting to talk to you when we first met about proportion of the face, because one of my biggest videos on my channel was when I first started, and I did the differences between male and female proportion. And I was more focused on the negative space than I was the actual size of the features, because obviously faces are so different. You can get a very feminine face with a very strong jawline, maybe an Angelina Jolie, but then you can also get a very kind of impish, kind of skinnier jawline, and it can be quite masculine sometimes if it's got everything else, like a strong brow bone. It's just the combination of everything. I remember watching your video, and it was so fascinating that you had almost like these scissors of measurement, and it was all about the golden ratio, and I thought it was a wonderful opportunity to talk about it.
Great, cool. So
these are what you are referring to.
The skizzers.
Yeah. So these are thigh calipers. These are my favourite pair.
Okay.
I do have others, but these are my favourite. And basically this is just a ratio measurer. So what we do typically is we use the skinny end here to measure in between someone's eyes, because that's the distance that won't change. You can lose weight, you can gain weight, you can do all kinds of surgeries, but what you can't change is the distance in between somebody's eyes. So we always take that as being 1. And then on the other end here, we have the thigh ratio. So it's like, these are proportion calipers. So that's what we're doing. We're looking at various different points of the face to see how close they are to this idea of golden proportion. So I always say to my patients when they come in, these calipers, these measurers, are going to tell me how beautiful you are or how handsome you are.
Because they're going to chop the wrong bits off. No, but if we were just going to explain what thigh is, people may be familiar with that picture of the shell or the Da Vinci man that's like in the air, and it's all to do with, it's like a square next to a rectangle, isn't it? And it goes round in a kind of circle, and it's kind of the proportion that we see as beautiful, and it's in a lot of the Renaissance paintings and a lot of architecture, and it's just something that we immediately read on the eye on totally different features. For example, if you have ethnically different features, the proportions are actually still the same in what we consider beautiful, even though the features are very different.
Mostly.
So it's kind of a fascinating rule that I was very interested in.
So I guess the rule between men and women, just some of the basic ones are, on a woman, when I'm looking at their chin, so that's the width of their chin point here, really what I want to see is it being the same as the distance in between the eyes. Like that.
Wow, okay.
And then on a man, we flip it over and we want it to be this distance. So this is a masculinizing trait to have a wider chin.
Wow.
Like this.
Okay.
There are other things that we can look at as well. So say for example, I don't know, with the lip, if you're looking for a more feminine lip, then you would have most of the volume in the lower lip be the same as the distance in between the eyes, like so, like this. And then there are other ratios that we're looking at. So for example, the takeoff of the eyebrow.
Yes, yeah.
In a man, you would want that to be horizontal. Maybe you could do, say, a 10 to 15 degree up curve, but you definitely don't want it to be as swept up as you would find on a woman.
Definitely. So if someone that was transgender watching my video today wanted to actually use facial feminization techniques but not go through the surgical route, those differences can make a drastic difference to a face, and that's something that you specialise in as well, isn't it? So it's very interesting. I think I'm kind of like a weird alien example because I have a mixture of both kind of sets. Like I'm a bit Grace Jones-ish in a way, because I do have more of a wider masculine kind of lower face and more of a feminine top part, which I think is interesting when we were first discussing this.
And that's what you wanted to keep.
Yes,
as well.
I didn't want to be too much of either. I wanted to be kind of like this angelic, genderless thing, which has always been me anyway. So
I remember when we first met, and that's exactly what you said to me, and I was like, okay. Okay, how are we going to do that? How are we going to plan this out? Because then you're going to have to pick for each feature.
Yes.
Do you want it to be more masculine, or do you want it to be more feminine?
The thing with me is I've never wanted to change my aesthetic. I've always wanted to balance it. I wanted to make the symmetry issues that I see with my fine little magnifying glass of my face. It's more to do with symmetry than change, and I think as I've got older, I haven't noticed a lot of aging in the traditional sense. Like I haven't got lines, I've never had Botox to stop my eyes or my brow furrowing, whatever you call it, but I definitely have noticed that the proportions of my face have changed. My cheekbones aren't as high as they used to be, my jawline's not as slick as it used to be, and it's more about that for me. And I think for balancing the face, it can make you look younger as well, can't it?
Yeah.
Which I think is very interesting. So maybe we should go on with some treatment and we can talk through a little bit about what we're doing today.
Great.
Awesome. Okay, tell me when you're ready.
I will. So what I'm going to do now is a little bit here and then here as well.
Fabulous. Okay, so we have now finished. We did the nose. I can't get over the nose. It looks perfect. It's absolutely perfect. And a little bit in the top of my right side of my lip and the bottom of my left side of my lip. And my chin and my cheek, and then under the nostril here. I can't get over the nose, oh my god. And this is like the immediate, like, so what, normally you have a little bit of swelling, don't you, after you injections in the site, and then it will settle down when?
Maybe around a week, something like that. I think this was good as well, actually.
It looks amazing. I love it, thank you.
Very well.
On top of that, I've also been going to a chiropractor. Now, I have had extreme problems with my legs growing up, and I really wanted to get to the bottom of it because I wanted to get a better posture. I've actually, like, I never really sit up straight when I'm doing these videos, and I wanted to come back with, like, I don't know, like a kind of stronger kind of posture, but we're still working towards it because when we went through the tests, there are a lot of issues and they all kind of surround my hips. Now, one of the issues tested my relationship from brain to body, and I'm actually at 40% of what I should have been. I've also had my back kind of cracked a little bit, which put my back more into a straight line because it was like a real S. And I'm taller than I thought I was. I'm actually 6'3". So there's been so much crazy work that I've been doing in terms of that, and I've actually got 12 more sessions to go, and we really have to start work on that soon because I really want to get into a position where I feel more confident and I'm not as clumsy and I don't fall over, I don't bang into things, and also there's going to be some work to my jawline. So what she's going to be doing is, it's called cranial chiropractor. It's called cranial chiropractic, and what she's basically going to be doing is making sure my jaw moves into the right sockets, because at the moment it doesn't because of retainers. So let's talk about braces. You may be able to see from the way I'm talking, my mouth moves so differently and I have totally different teeth. I'm so excited about my smile now because I've gone through a full regime of basically Invisalign. It's one of the best things I've ever done, I think, because I did have braces as a kid, but they didn't hold through time. My teeth began to kind of reset. So having these and changing every 2 weeks to go to this, basically very minor crowding issues that I had just as I got older, has really changed my teeth, and I'm so excited about the way they look because people always give me compliments on them now, and I'm really excited. So that's pretty much the end of everything I've been going through apart from skincare. Skincare has been something that I've been really focused on, and I've been doing lots and lots and lots of changes, including using a medicated kind of retinol. Now, this is kind of an unusual retinol because it's mixed with benzoyl peroxide, a very low amount of benzoyl peroxide. Now, most skincare junkies out there will go, because benzoyl peroxide is not known as a great ingredient. Now, the combination of it to do, and I think it's called Epiduo, I've been using like maybe less than a tiny little pearl size across my entire face. This has got everything in order for my skin, and then on top of that I use a retinol that's actually a branded retinol, which I'll put in the description. It's a medical one. So what that does is it resurfaces your skin, it makes your skin tougher, stronger, more collagen, and also keeps you it speeds up the way your skin sheds, basically, so you heal quicker, you get smoother texture to your skin, and also if you do have an issue with your skin, maybe you've nicked your beard shaving, then it will heal a little bit faster. Retinol is definitely something you should get into in your mid-20s. You do have to go through a process of adjusting to it because I would say every 3 weeks you get kind of like a grainy texture to your skin, and the stronger you go, you can actually get peeling, which is quite difficult to endure because you can't cover it with makeup. But once you get through those kind of first cycles, you do have such a difference to your skin. I've also been going through a laser called Pica laser, which is a brand new laser that actually is great for tattoo removal and also scar removal. Works like a kind of light version or a laser version of Dermal. So I've been filming that at a different clinic in Hove, that's been going really well. You can't do retinol at the same time as that, you have to give a break, but it's just to enhance the collagen and thickness in my skin, and I've still never had any Botox for aging, and I think it speaks for itself. So I'm super excited about that one. Talking about lasers, let's go into laser hair removal. So I've been going to Portsmouth, and Portsmouth is a bit of a journey to get to for me, and my dad's been driving me there and pointing out all the crazy birds in the sky, which is a whole new story time we can probably do later. But I have to get a specific diet that's suitable for olive or Afro-Caribbean skin, and I've been going through laser for approximately 6 years now, and it's always ended with disaster. burns, blisters, swollen follicles, infections. I've had every kind of imagination you can go wrong with laser hair removal. It's all gone wrong. I've even gone for electrolysis, and I had a really bad reaction to electrolysis where I actually had almost like a burn everywhere that I had the needle injected and then the hair removed. So this was a real tough one, and I did partner with Skin, and I went to initial consultations in the Brighton clinic, and then when the dermatologist saw it, he said absolutely not, you have to go to Portsmouth. It's the only one like this, apart from there's one in North London, I think, but this one was easier to get to, and that's what I've been doing, and I've gone through nearly 6 treatments of that. Now my beard is predominantly blonde, and what I wanted to do is just cut all the dark hair out. I wanted some there, but I didn't want it all to be there, so I've got to my end result, and all that's kind of left now is a little bit of the blonde, and it gives me what I want when I want it, but when I don't want it, it's smooth. So I'm really happy with the results of that. I would just say err with caution, because for me, I had hyperpigmentation on my last session, and depending on your skin type or tone, you can get really bad results. You have to really go with a practitioner, and I'm glad the dermatologist stepped in and consulted me, because I would have been treated with the wrong laser and probably done a lot of damage to my skin. So just err with caution. Alright guys, well please check out Dr. Sarah on Instagram and on YouTube in the links below. I really want you guys to look at her YouTube videos, because she does a lot of different treatments in there, and just I'm super excited with the results. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. I will see you all in my next video, and subscribe if you're new. Take care.